Back to this Mercedes 2010 with that piece of shit aftermarket condenser. So they're having me do it because they had, you know, some misconceptions or distrust of their employee was having troubles. He lost an O-ring. This has been sitting here many extra days just because of O-rings, which they shouldn't have been reusing the O-rings in the first place, but the technician lost the O-ring, and I'm trying to find them. You know, they're like this. Where are we? I'm sorry I can't have better video. I'm using my iPad because all my phones, the memory is all filled up on them, so I can no longer use any of them. I have 4 phones for recording on, and I haven't downloaded and deleted all the memory, so I could use them again. So now I'm using my iPad. So this is OEM, this is aftermarket. I was trying to fit in that fitting right there in the aftermarket. I cannot push in, and now if you take a look at this, I cannot get this sucker in the aftermarket. So there's a machining difference. You see that just fell out. Okay, so I'm sorry for being sideways, guys, and all over the place, but I don't like taking videos with the iPad. See those pieces of plastic? Those are to guide in to the openings. So I went and scrounged up the old bad one so I could try to fit it in, because I could not get that to fit into the new aftermarket. So I could get it to fit into the old OEM, the old OEM, no problem. But I cannot push it into the aftermarket. It must be like a thousandths or two difference, smaller diameter hole in their machining, and I can't get it in there. So I wonder if the technician was having a hard time, and that's why he mangled up the fitting in there trying to push it in. And because as far as the technician knows, he didn't order the part, and yes, it is aftermarket, but he's just trying to force it into what it should fit in. But because it's a piece of shit aftermarket, it doesn't fit. So let's go to something else here. Take a look at this. So if you measure the fins per inch on here, and you measure the fins for every inch on here, they're cheating you out of, for every inch, they're cheating you out of only 2 fins. They're pretty close, but not good enough. Actual fail, okay? Okay, cooling passages going across. For the coolant to go across, there's 53 cooling passages going across. On the OEM, what did I count? 54, I believe I counted, and I wrote it down, yeah. 54 cooling passages. So they cheated you out of 1 cooling passage. Not too bad, I've seen worse. If you actually got the cross section of these cooling passages right here, and they're like this, they're a tube, instead of a round tube, they're oval. They're not like this, they're like this. And they look like this from the inside. The OEM will look like this, with a lot of little tiny fins in it. And the more surface area, the more fins, the more heat dissipation you have with contact with the refrigerant to dissipate heat. The aftermarkets cheat you. They give you less fins inside. So when you cut this one open and you cut the tubes open on this one, you see something like this. That's not all. We're not finished. If you act now, you get shittier fins too. The fin have louvers in them. If you come over here to the side, let's see if I can take a side shot, and how do I want to zoom in here. Come on, how do I zoom in here? There we go. We're getting in there. Okay, now if you see inside, do you see inside there back in the shadows? There's actually louvers back there. And if you look really deep inside, and unfortunately, I'm trying to really get in there and zoom in. I want to really zoom in so you could see those fins inside, and you can see in the middle there's no fins, and the fins they do have, when you compare them to the OEM, original equipment manufacturer, these are larger, so you have less louvers on each individual fin. If you come here and you look inside, let's get in there, and you look inside, you can see the louvers are solid. They don't have that gap in the middle. So right in the middle on the aftermarket, they don't have louvers. On the OEM, they have louvers. This is to make an air disturbance and have a higher contact surface area and time and disturb the air going through. On the OEM, they don't have that on here. They cheated you again out of even the louvers. So They cheated you out of the louvers on the fins. They cheated you out of fins. They cheated you out of the fins inside the refrigerant. They cheated you out of the coolant passage tubes. And then if you take apart the desiccant and you weigh the desiccant, you'll find out you were cheated on the actual desiccant for drying on the inside too. So this is original equipment made in Germany. Let me see if I can unzoom out of this thing. So this was made in Germany. This is original. And it has the seal right here. This is original. This aftermarket piece of shit, you almost can't find any idea until you come way the hell down here and there's this little itty bitty dinky, there it is, right? Let me see if I can find it for you guys. Let's find my finger. Where am I at? I don't like the iPad at over. I can't do good videos with this at all. Right up there. Where's my finger? Come on, iPad. Right, follow my finger. Right there. That is the only marking on this piece of shit condenser. That's it. And it says C, made in China. Well, what a surprise there. And it's CEF or CFE. I can't even read that thing. They really don't want you to know who makes their cheap pieces of shit. CSF. So the manufacturer of this is CSF, and some part numbers C41416668, and then the upper part number is 10649, and then there's something else I can't read, but made in China. And when I try to get in here, let's see, sorry guys, I'm trying to fit. Getting an iPad under a car is not easy with me. So I'm trying to fit this fitting where I can't even find the fitting. I can't even find where this thing, sorry guys. There we go, maybe we're upside down. No, shit. This really sucks. I want my phones back. Okay, so let me get back farther. I want this guy has to go in this upper fitting right there. That guy. I freaking could barely get that in. And getting the lower one, no freaking way. I'm pushing like hell. You son of a bitch. Oh, fuck, that's tight. Nothing like the OEM. Get the OEM, bitch. Fucking insurance companies. And you know what? It's not the responsibility of the technician or the shop to get down on their knees and freaking count every fin, every tube, every louver at the end, and the diameter. This is the diameter that's messing us up right here. And this is what I see on aftermarket sometimes. And the shop owner might be cussing at the employee saying, hey, what are you, an idiot? You don't know what you're doing. Well, I'm sorry, but sometimes it's not the employee's fault. When you buy cheap piece of shit aftermarkets, the internal, if you get a micrometer out and you measure this internal right inside here, you might find it's only 1,000, 2,000. And you go, well, don't they have more clearance and there should be that much slop in it to work? Not on some of them, and this is one of those cases. Because that is tighter, I cannot fit that plastic sheath that's in there. I can't fit in the OEM. I could bring it in there, it slips right in here really easy. In the aftermarket, I'm struggling to get in it. So now I know why the technician ate up and chewed up the other one. It wasn't his fault. It's the bitch who sold this thing, the company CSF who's importing this shit, they're the ones at fault. So this is the problem with this one. It's too small there. I can see why it was really hard to get in there. I can't push it in. Not only that, check it out. Aftermarket. This is what happens when you get an aftermarket piece of shit. This is where the fitting for the high pressure fitting goes in right here. Well, it didn't come with one. So the technician had to unscrew this and he had to screw it back in there. Do you think the technician had that O-ring and changed the O-ring? Of course not. He just took it off, reused the O-ring. So how many times have we seen these Mercedes with leaks at these O-rings right here. They're either cracked or they leak at the O-ring when somebody reuses the O-ring. That right there is what happens when you buy aftermarket shit like this. Okay, so that's all I have to say about that. I mean, there isn't one thing they left out that they cheated on to get a better price. And how about this, aftermarket manufacturers? How about this for a concept? This is going to be a fucking mind blow. How about if you put one more tube, one more fin, one more louver, and one more internal fin, so you can't get a copyright strike against you for saying, oh, you copied our condenser and now you have to pay a patent fee or something like that, okay? Instead of do that, how about you just put one more of everything instead of several less of everything? How's that for a fucking marketing concept? Be better than the OEM. How about we go in this direction instead of going in this direction? All right, guys, I'll see you later on this piece of shit.